All right, here to react is Tom Borelli, a Newsmax insider. We are also joined by Nan Hayworth from Independent Women's Forum and former New York Congresswoman. Good to see you both here. Tom, I'll start with you on this one. What do you make of the campaign's response? This seems to be really the only time this question got asked and we got a response about it, and it seemed it was in anger.
Yeah, sure, Shaun. Certainly in anger, because really they're just trying to play out the clock. We have the election next Tuesday. They don't want to answer any questions about the Biden's family business. And we also know that the FBI has been investigating Hunter Biden for, I think, money laundering since last year. So there's a lot of information out there, a lot of evidence out there. But again, the mainstream media is proving that they are indeed the enemy of the people. We have millions of people voting around the United States for the most powerful position in the world, and the media is trying to protect the Bidens, and the Biden family is just trying to run out that clock.
Nan Hayworth, you know, this is a question that needs to be asked more. It obviously is not. We are 4 days away from the election. This is the strategy by the Biden campaign, to just pretend it doesn't exist. And they do, as Tom pointed out, have the help from mainstream media.
They do, Shaun. It is stunning. And of course, Glenn Greenwald, who is an independent journalist, left The Intercept, which he co-founded in 2014 because its editors refused to run his very compelling, well-documented, and perfectly objective story about the fact that this evidence that has emerged about Hunter Biden's activities and about Joe Biden's association with these activities, the whole Biden family, what I think is correctly called a crime syndicate, at least certainly in terms of the influence peddling that they did while Joe Biden, it all started while Joe Biden was vice president. The Intercept editors wouldn't publish it, even though Glenn Greenwald said, go ahead and publish your own counter to it. Yeah. So yeah, the mainstream media and all kinds of outlets and the former CIA officers, you name it, are all arrayed against President Trump, for Joe Biden, and against the American people. I'm glad you brought up Glenn Greenwald. I saw that interview with Tucker Carlson last night of why he left The Intercept. There's the big question of that. He answered that very thing. Watch this.
For a long time on the left, there was a healthy skepticism of the CIA.
Yes, there was.
There was a lot of anti-war activism in the Bush and Cheney years. That has all disappeared. And the reason it's disappeared is because the CIA, from the very first days of the Trump administration, even before he was inaugurated, devoted themselves to sabotaging the administration because Donald Trump questioned just a few of their pieties. And that can't be done in Washington. Whoever does that must be destroyed. And so the CIA and the deep state operatives became heroes of the liberal left.
Tom Borelli, your overall reaction to that and what you just heard there?
Well, first of all, congratulations to Mr. Greenwald for having the courage to quit over principle. Far too many people just would cave under that circumstance. But I think this shows you what really happens inside a news organization. You could have an ambitious reporter wanting to get to the truth, and yet the editors will spike the story. This is the kind of thing that's going on throughout our country, and it represents a really serious threat to liberty. And let's not forget, I'm not sure what Mr. Greenwald was going to write, but it's certain clear former Vice President Joe Biden is a liar. He said he knew nothing about his son's Hunter's business dealing, yet we have an insider, we have records and documents showing that Biden knew it all along. This is the information that the American people need to know before they cast those votes.
Nan Hayworth, your thoughts on this, because we obviously have the photos and the videos and the emails and the text messages, the laptop reportedly belonging to Hunter Biden. Now we know the FBI has an open investigation on this. At what point does the mainstream media ask questions? You don't have to like the story, hate it, but it is a story.
Yeah, I agree. And Shaun, the only way is for, and we know Newsmax's viewership is growing. The word is getting out there. Social media, even though the social media giants are also arrayed against conservatives, Twitter has famously suppressed this news about Hunter Biden and about all the questions surrounding him. But nonetheless, we persist. And there is a grassroots movement, as you know, of news outlets that are adding their voices to this. And Shaun, it has been, there have been, I think last I looked last evening, there were at least 1 million tweets apparently referencing Hunter Biden. So the word is getting out there. There was a survey in one of the swing states, and I don't remember which one, that said I think 71% of the voters were aware of Hunter Biden. They can't suppress it, even though they want to. And that is going to be the story after this election, is the perfidies of the mainstream media and legacy outlets to try to deceive the American people in favor of one specific candidate and party.
We'll leave it there. Nan Hayworth joining us live. Tom Borelli as well. Thank you both.